Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about courage because nowadays many of us are being nudged and some of us pushed violently into the courage of being ourselves. That's the courage. That's the only courage that we're asked for. It's like, can you own where you are? Can you own who you are and show up as you are in that moment? And for many of us, it's so scary because it means that you're afraid that you may lose your job or friends or whatever it is. And so there is this holding back, and yet that nudging is, or that forceful pushing fills you with discomfort, right? So you don't know how to deal with it. And maybe some of you think that, you can, I don't know, meditate on it and then it will go away and it's going to be easier to do it or whatever. So anyways, in this video, I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about the coward archetype. And so that you understand it, you know what to do. And so you'll be able to solve your inner tension, right? Because if you're watching this, I presume that you're having some issues with being brave in your life. So first of all, I wanted to talk about, let me start with the movie, The Hobbit. With The Hobbit, there's the third part, and the third part where there's the desolation that happened. So the dragon just burnt up the whole village. And in that movie, from the beginning, you have this character, and he was the assistant of the king. He has these bulging eyes. He really looks ridiculous, and even the way he talks and everything, he is one of those characters that just people are revolted by. Why? Because he's the coward. He's the coward. He's the one that is the assistant of the king because, he can get something out of there and he can hide behind the king, right? So that the king can give him safety. And then later on, when the king, is not king anymore, then this coward goes to the hero and tries to hide behind the hero. He licks his ass and everything to get everything, to get safety, to be liked by him. So there's really this cowardly way of being that is so obvious in the guy. And it's and so when I mention that actor, that person, that hero, let's say, or anti-hero, people are like, the first thing is that they don't want even to remember him. And the second thing is that they are repulsed by him. Why? Because we are naturally repulsed by the coward. We don't want to know that there's a coward in us. And by the way, we all have that archetype. We all have the coward archetype. Some of us, it's more dominant, which means that it's part of our life purpose. And part of our life purpose is to go from cowardice to courage. That's what this archetype is about. This pattern about an archetype is always neutral. It's just in the shadow, it's destructive. In the light, it's constructive. It helps you create something, bring in your light into this life. And so it starts always this I call it the chicken archetype most of the time. It starts with the coward and then it goes into the courageous one. And so here is this person that is completely in the coward archetype, in the shadow. And then you have another person in that, another character in that movie, which is the hero. And the hero he's handsome, He's young, he's strong, he kills the dragon, he saves people, he thinks about his children, he's there, an incredible father for the children. I mean, the guy is just perfection itself, right? And yet, this character does not exist without the coward, incredibly. And this is something that we don't know, that we don't want to realize. That in that movie, if the coward always is going around and hovering around the hero, it's because that part is part of the hero. Because if you go back to that movie and watch that hero, you will see that he will be like the sun over there, you know, like this god. He's almost perfect, right? And so as a human being, it's going to be very hard to relate to him. You will relate from a state of shame, maybe from a state of, oh my God, he's up there on a pedestal, but I'm here. Because that's not human. You can't be brave without cowardice. The two come together. And so by being repulsed by the coward, you're actually putting aside the whole archetype. You're putting aside the hero in you. And that's why it's going to be very hard to relate with the hero, because it's just impossible. I mean, even when I remember watching the movie and I couldn't feel the humanity in him. It's like he's so perfect in everything. There's almost no negative traits to him. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember any negative traits. He's you know, when it's time to act, he's acting. He knows what to do. Even if he's afraid, he's going to do it. And it's this perfection. And that's not human. We are afraid. We have the coward in us. And if you're not afraid, you're not brave. Right? If you do something and inside of you there is no fear, then there's no act of bravery. You just did it. That's it. It's that fear, the coward in you. When you take it in, you own it. That's what is going to take you to bravery. That is what is going to make you feel that feeling of, I did it. You know, I overcame this. There was such a huge issue here, and here I am. You know, you can only have it with this part, with this anti-hero, if you wish, right? And so when you watch that movie, and it's a healing that can happen. When you watch it, start feeling into yourself. Start seeing that part, the coward, and start seeing what he's doing. What is it that repulses you? And you will start seeing that there are certain things that he's doing, and he's doing them to protect himself. He's actually trying to save himself. He's actually the only one that is showing that he's afraid. He's owning it in the end, right? He's a little bit nasty at times. He is nasty. He's still in the shadow. I'm not saying he's perfect. But if you feel into him, he's more human than the hero where, you know, it's like, oh my God, he's just going. Who does that? Who does that? I mean, you must be either crazy to just go into the fire and, you know, just, you need, I mean, that fear is there to help you out. It's there because it wants to protect you. Now, the thing is that it's not about not having fear. It's about owning it and not being controlled by it. And when you own it, you're not controlled by it. You are the one holding it. And it's going to be the energy that will take you there. Because with the coward archetype, the beauty of it is that the coward will show you through experience, and you can only know this through experience, through your own personal experience. It will show you what your values are. It will show you what is important for you. It will show you what is linked also with your life purpose. Your values and all, they're all linked with your life purpose. Why you're here. And it will show you by taking you into situations that are opposite to your values, where you will go through the coward. You'll be so afraid, so taken, the fear will take over. You'll not know what to do with it. And you will do something that you will not like because it goes against your values. And once you've done that, there's two options that you have. It's either you say, okay, this is not what I want. Now I know it. Not because somebody said it, not because there's the 10 commandments, not because the shoulds and shouldn'ts and obligations and all that. It's because I don't want it. My experience, me, every part of me is showing me this is not what I want. It doesn't feel good. And maybe you don't even know your values in that moment. Most of the time, you will not know them. And through that experience of cowardice, you will actually know what your value is. And now now you can take that and use it as a stepping stone, as a bridge to be clear about your values and to stand by your values. And when you do that, it will be your authentic self. It will be a very authentic decision. An authentic decision. I mean, I don't know if it can be halfway, but it's cool. It's going to be authentic. It's going to come from you. It's going to be you deciding, you creating that, right? And again, it's not going to be out of obligation. Somebody said it, or because you need to be a good girl or a good boy, right? And so it's going to be completely different. It's going to be very genuine. And it's going to thrill you, right? So that's one way. The other way, the other option is that you get stuck in that. You get repulsed by it, just like the character in the movie. It's, I don't want it. I don't like that. Ugh. And you're going to just look at that incredible hero and say, oh my God, one day I'll be that, right? One day I'll be that God on that pedestal. And then there's always going to be that shame that is going to eat at you because you did that. Or you know that you could do that, right? And so it's never going to be real. It's never going to be this genuine decision coming from you. And many people get stuck there because they think they have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect. I mean, I have to tell myself that too, right? So, but it's good to remind ourselves. And so, and it's in that perfection, honestly, because I know the coward archetype, that hero was not, he just, I don't know, he felt like, I don't know, I didn't feel any thrill about that hero. The thrill comes from the two coming together, from knowing that you did this, and thanks to this is where you are. From knowing that anything, any experience, you can change it into incredible things in your life. Knowing that any experience is always for you. And that at some point, life becomes this adventure. And bravery is really about that. Bravery is about adventure. So there's that thrill there. And there can't be any thrill if there's no fear. So you will feel fear. You will feel that, maybe that cowardice. But the thing is, if you want to be brave, you take it in. And incredibly, what happens is that at the beginning, you know, it's not going to be nice. I mean, I'm going to tell you, it's just crappy. It's not funny. I mean, especially the first times. Oh my God. But that's where the thrill is. That's where the adventure is, incredibly. Because you'll be like, oh my God, I did it. And then shame may come up. You're like, okay, shame is up. Ooh, I don't like it. But I can do some inner work. And then you'll do some inner work, and suddenly a lot of that shame goes away. And suddenly you'll start seeing that there's a lot more bravery in you. You're more open to other options. Your limitations open up. There's less and less limitations because you are not afraid of trying something new. And then you'll try something new, and maybe some other shame will come up. And again, you'll just clear it out. And then more and more. And what happens is that at some point you'll see that the shame is less of it. And the feeling of freedom that comes from it, wow, you'll be amazed by that. The thing is that that freedom wouldn't have been there if there was no limitations before, right? So that was also important. Right? Do you see how one is always linked to the other? How one is taking you towards the other, towards what you want. And so bravery is not that you'll be brave in a second. It's like you taking steps and you opening up, you trying out more and more. You knowing that every time you'll get something incredible. You knowing that you know how to deal with fear, with the cowardice inside of you. You owning that, right? And as you do that, every part becomes more and more of an ally. And that's how you become more and more brave. And the more brave you become, the more authentic you become. The more free you are, because you're completely yourself. When you go for something, you're not going to half-ass it because, oh my God, what will people say? Because that bravery is going to give you, it's going to just be a fuel. It's going to be your own energy saying, but I want that. So let me go head on. Let me try it out. Because you know that the opposite, the alternative is what? Is you not having what you want. Is you not being yourself. Is you being limited. You know, you've tried the alternative and you didn't like it. And so now it becomes your own authentic, genuine decision to go there and to try it out. And many times you'll see that the process itself is even more amazing than the aim. You know, the overcoming, the owning things in you, the realizing the gems, the relishing yourself as you are. So I hope this inspired you. And I hope it's clear what courage is about and the role of cowardice, the roles of fear. And let me know what you think about this, what you think about cowardice. If you watched the movie, how you reacted to this person, to this character, to the hero also. And yeah, if you want to work on bravery, and you can always book a one-to-one session with me. And I'll see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.